The phone rang on a Tuesday morning while I was going through quarterly reports in my home office. My father's name flashed on the screen. That alone was unusual. I answered without much thought. "Hi, Dad." His voice came in carefully, like he was holding something fragile. "Claire, we need to talk." I kept one hand on my keyboard. "What's going on?" A pause. Then a sigh that sounded rehearsed. "I'm afraid there's an issue with your trust fund." My fingers stopped. "My what?" "Your trust fund," he repeated. "From your grandmother. The one she left you 5 years ago." I leaned back in my chair. "Dad, I don't have a trust fund." Another pause, longer this time. Defensive now. "Claire, please don't do this. Your mother and I have been managing it for you." "Managing what?" "Exactly. The inheritance. $400,000. I actually laughed out loud. "You think I've been sitting on a secret inheritance I don't know about?" "It's not a joke," he said sharply. "We've been sending you $3,000 a month." That made me stop. I opened my banking app, and there it was. $3,000. Every month. For 3 years. Sender, Harrison Family Trust. I stared at the screen. "Oh," I said quietly. My father took that as validation. "So you see, no." I cut in. "I see deposits. Not a trust fund." "I never knew about this." Silence. Then his voice changed. "We used part of it for Kevin." That name hit differently. "My brother." "For what?" "He needed capital. It was urgent. A business opportunity." I closed my eyes. "Dad, how much?" Another pause. 180,000. I exhaled slowly. "So let me get this straight. You believed I had an inheritance I didn't know about, sent me money from it, and then spent most of it on Kevin. It was for the family," he insisted. "His business is going to succeed." I opened my laptop again. This time logging into something they didn't know existed. My actual accounts. My actual companies. My actual life. "Dad," I said calmly, "there is no trust fund." "Yes, there is," he insisted. "No," I said. "There isn't, but there are deposits. From your account." "Not mine." That shut him up. I could practically hear the confusion turning into panic. Then I said, almost casually, "And you should probably sit down for this part." "What part?" "The part where Kevin's business." "Yes, I own it." Double quote silence. Then, "That's impossible." I pulled up the file and scanned it. "Rolling Gourmet," I said. "Your son pitched it to one of my investment firms 6 months ago. I funded it. I own 60%, nothing, not even breathing on the other end. So Kevin didn't use my inheritance." I continued. "He used your retirement money, thinking it was mine. And I used my actual investment capital to fund him properly." "This doesn't make sense," my father said weakly. "It does," I said. "You just didn't have all the information." I leaned back, staring at my screen. I run for tech companies. My smallest division made more last year than most people see in a lifetime. "I don't need a monthly allowance, Dad." A long silence. Then, quietly, "Why didn't you tell us?" That question. I almost smiled. "When would I have told you?" I asked. "At the dinners where you call my work computer stuff. Or the times you ask when I'm getting a real job." He didn't answer because he remembered every dismissal, every assumption, every time I wasn't taken seriously. Now my mother came on the line. "Claire, sweetheart, is this real?" "Yes, Mom." Her voice cracked slightly. "We gave away almost $300,000. "You gave it away yourselves," I corrected gently, thinking it was mine. Another silence. Then panic returned. "We can't afford that," she whispered. "I know," I said. And I meant it. "That's why I made a decision. I'm transferring the money back." I added, "You can't just." I already did. I tapped a few keys, plus interest. There was a sound like my father had sat down hard somewhere. Then my mother asked, "What exactly are you, Claire?" That question should have hurt. It didn't. I build software systems, cybersecurity, AI platforms, logistics, infrastructure. I employ thousands of people. Another pause. Then I added, almost lightly, And I have about 800 million in assets. The line went completely silent for a full 10 seconds. No one spoke. Then my mother whispered, 800 million. Roughly, my father finally spoke again, slower now. We thought you were struggling, I know. We thought you needed help, I know. Another pause, then something changed in his voice. We didn't mean to disrespect you, I know that too. I said, and I did. That was the strange part. They hadn't tried to hurt me. They just never bothered to see me clearly. We talked longer after that, carefully, rebuilding context piece by piece. By the end of the call, something had shifted. Not dramatically. Just honestly. Before we hung up, my mother said softly, "We're proud of you." Claire, I hesitated. Then replied, "Then start by learning who I actually am." After I ended the call, I sat for a moment in silence. Then I laughed. Because somehow, my brother had turned my non-existent inheritance into a startup funding scheme powered entirely by my parents' savings. While I unknowingly owned the company at the center of it, only my family could create a financial disaster that accidentally still ended in success. Later that day, I called Kevin. "Hey," he said. "Mom and Dad explained some weird thing about money." "Yeah," I cut in. "We need to fix your financing structure." "Am I in trouble?" "No," I said. "You're in business." It took him a few seconds. Then, wait. What? Long story. Over the next few months, everything stabilized. Kevin repaid my parents through structured dividends. My parents slowly learned that my computer hobbies were actually global infrastructure systems, and I stopped shrinking my life when talking to them. Then came the visit. They arrived at my office expecting a small workspace. Instead, they walked into 4 floors of glass, steel, engineers, analysts, and real-time global dashboards. My mother stopped in the lobby. "Oh my God." My father just stared. "This is yours." "Yes," I said. We walked through the building slowly, for the first time. They didn't interrupt when I spoke. They listened. Really listened. At the end of the tour, my mother said quietly, "We missed so much." "No," I said. "You just didn't look." That landed harder than anything else, but not cruelly, just true. Later, we had dinner together. No tension. No confusion, just understanding finally catching up. And somewhere between stories and silence, something better replaced all the assumptions. Respect. Not for the money, for the reality they had overlooked. Before they left, my father looked at me and said, "We were wrong about a lot." I nodded. "Yes, and you forgave us anyway." I thought about that. "I didn't need to forgive you," I said. "I just needed you to see me." They did. Finally. And that, more than the money or the companies or the numbers on any screen, felt like the only real wealth I had ever needed.